Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. We have another fall decorating video. Today we're going to be doing my dining room. Specifically, I want to show you guys a couple different tablescape ideas for the season, whether you're hosting or you just want a really fun setup for your dining room space. I'm going to be showing you guys two different looks. The first one is going to be more of a simple casual look, and then the second one is going to be a little bit more on the maximalist side. We're gonna have lots of layers, lots of decor, candles. It's gonna be such a fun video, so make sure that you stay tuned if you want all of the inspiration. And if you're new here, this isn't the first fall video on my channel in terms of decorating. You can definitely go back and watch those. We did some decluttering, we did some shopping, decorated the living room, and there are also more decorating videos, fall festive videos that are going to be coming after this one, and I am so excited to share them with you. But I feel like this is gonna look so beautiful. It's gonna be so fun and cozy, so let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to our little dining area, our little dining room. I really don't film in here very often. I don't really film in the kitchen a lot in general, just because we have multiple people that live in this house. It's really hard to get to this space when nobody is here. So this isn't really a room. It sort of connects with our kitchen and it's all one big room. It's right off of our living room and it's just connected all into this one big open space. This table actually used to be my grandmother's from my mom's side, as well as the chairs. We actually just got those reupholstered probably about maybe 10 years ago or so. So everything about this dining room is actually pretty old and also repurposed. So like I said, I'm going to be showing you guys two different ways that I'm going to be styling a fall tablescape. The first one is going to be a little bit more simple, a little bit more minimalistic. I still do want to sort of incorporate some layers and just some fun things that I've really been enjoying for this fall season in particular. If you do want another idea, I did do a really fun tablescape last year, so I can have that link down below as well. But the first thing I want to start with is actually this runner. I used this last year as well. This is part of Hobby Lobby's fall line. I believe they still have these. They even have them in a few different colors. I have mine in this beautiful green color. I love the stripe detail. I love the texture, the fringe. It's beautiful. It probably could be a little bit longer for this table just to sort of hang off the edges, but I think it's gonna do perfectly for this very simple look that we're going for. Like I said, even though this is the very simple tablescape, I do want to play with a little bit of layering. So this is where these doilies come in. We have so many of these. I went around our house and I grabbed them all, but they're so pretty. They have this really pretty lace detail. I believe all of these are handmade and I have 3 different sizes. I think it'll be fun to sort of layer this across the top, especially with these very organic, almost floral shapes that they have to them. So I think I'm going to use the biggest one. We're going to put this one right in the middle. And then take the 2 smaller ones and slightly overlap them. And I just feel like all the different unique shape and detail of each of them, because not all of them are the same, really adds a lot to this, and visually just really adds a lot of texture. For our centerpiece, I have a couple different fun things I want to add. The first one being this vase. Now this vase is pretty old. We have had this for pretty much as long as I can remember, but I love the gold rim around the top, and then it just has some very subtle floral details sort of etched into it. So this is beautiful. With a more simplistic look, I really like to keep in mind that sometimes simplistic doesn't mean not a lot of stuff. Like, it definitely can be. You can definitely cater it to whatever you like, but sometimes having something like glass that you can see through, it doesn't feel so heavy on the eye. So I think this is going to be really pretty to sort of anchor this all together, make a focal point, but not too much of a focal point where you miss all of the other details and it sort of blends in, if that makes sense. And then to put in them, I have these florals. I got these from Hobby Lobby either last year or possibly the year before, but I have 2 different stems here and I just love all the different texture. Again, I wanted to go with something a little bit more neutral, that way it sort of blends in with the tablescape. It doesn't distract it, but it complements it, if that makes sense. So there's lots of different florals in here. We have some more fluffy ones. There's some little, I think these are called cattails? No, what are these called? These little brown things is what I'm talking about. And then we just have some leaves and everything. I feel like these are gonna look so pretty. But since our vase is glass, I should probably take the tags off as well. For plates, especially for this one, I'm going to keep it super simple. We just have these white plates. The lighting's kind of bad, but they're just white and they're gonna be super simple. I'm just gonna put one at each place. For the purpose of this video and just simplicity, I'm going to be doing 4 of them. And to keep on playing off of that subtle layering that we did with our center, I'm going to also be using these. They're sort of like soup bowls, I would say. I'm just gonna stack those right on top as well. Is cleared off. We are now ready for our more maximalist, very sort of extravagant, fancy looking fall tablescape. So the first thing I want to start with is actually the doilies that we used last time. So I'm going to be putting them in the same order, the biggest in the middle and then the 2 smaller ones on the sides. Element we're going to be adding is something a little bit different. I didn't even do this in my video last year when I did a fall tablescape. We have all of this greenery for actually the wedding that's going to be coming up soon, my brother's wedding. And I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to make like a fun little garland down the middle. So I have a bunch of these. We have a big box in there as well, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to need to use all of them. But I love these stems. These are technically from the Hobby Lobby Christmas line. I'm not sure if they have them this year. I know they have out a bunch of Christmas stuff, but I'm not sure if they have these. But I love them because they're not super Christmassy. They're very neutral. I love the buds in them. It sort of gives that fall vibe, and it's also going to add a lot of warmth and obviously lots of greenery and texture to this space. So like I said, I'm not sure how many I'm going to need. I don't want to make like a really big sort of fluffy garland, if that makes sense, but I basically just want to lay them sort of side by side like this, sort of bend the branches a little bit. That way it sort of looks like a garland all put together. And of course, if you have any sort of fall garland that you would like to use, if you have like maple leaves or maybe like a red eucalyptus looking garland, this would be a really great way or a really good purpose for that as well. So I'm gonna play around with this and we're gonna see what we come up with. Garland is all laid out. I feel like it's looking really pretty. This is definitely a greenery stem I feel like you could invest in for both fall and also Christmas. But with that being said, we do need to bring in a little bit of that fall element, and that's where a lot of our layering and more of our maximalist style is going to come. So I have this vase here. I got this from Hobby Lobby. I actually stole this from our bathroom makeover that I did a couple weeks ago, just because I wanted to bring in a little bit of depth, and this is also a really good size. Something that I don't think is super realistic is when people have a really big floral arrangements or just really big centerpieces in general, and you can't really see your guests if you're having some sort of dinner party or get together. So I'm going to sort of just layer this inside here. And then I just have these red faux eucalyptus stems. I got these from Target last year. I will have them linked down below because I believe they still have them. But again, if you do have a garland and it's like this, I think they do have a garland version of this on Target's website. This would be really pretty as a garland as well. And then these are just gonna sit perfectly in here. I love that it's a bundle and all you have to do is set it inside and it just arranges itself. And then I have this sort of tiered stand that I thrifted. I also took this from my living room as well as this pumpkin. I think I want to incorporate it somewhere here. Something that's great about layering everything in this, especially since this isn't a garland, it sort of fills in those gaps and helps create that illusion. And I'm just gonna pop this inside. Not sure if it'll stay there, but I think for now it looks really pretty. And then I have these two pumpkins as well. This one I also made. I made the one on this stand as well. They are just the white pumpkins that you get from Hobby Lobby, and I painted them to look more of like a moody, sort of fairy tale looking pumpkin. And then this one is from Dollar Tree or Dollar General, one of the two from quite a few years ago. I might also get some books just to add a little bit of height. for the place settings, it's going to be very similar to what we did for the first one. In terms of what we're using, we're just using the same white plates. But this time we're also going to be layering in some linens. So these aren't actual like cloth napkins. This is actually just some scrap fabric that I found in my bins downstairs. But this is where you could really add a lot of pattern, or you could go a little bit more subtle if you wanted it to look a little bit more minimal. But I loved this pop of burgundy. It brings in the burgundy and our eucalyptus, and also just the nice subtle striped detail on here. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually layer these underneath these bowls right here, just to add a little bit of texture. Like I said, I don't want it to be too much, but something that I did last year that would be a fun idea is sort of bunching them up in the middle and just tying them with a little jute string. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. It's starting to get pretty gloomy outside, so it's a perfect time to wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed the two different ways that I showed you how I decorated my tablescape for fall. I hope you got lots of ideas, whether you're having a small intimate gathering or you're having a really sort of fancy dinner party, or maybe you just want to dress up your dining table for the season. I hope you got lots of ideas. Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite. I'm not sure if I can choose one. I love them both. I love the very cozy layered feel that we were able to create, and I just had lots of fun hanging out with you guys and sharing with you guys all of my ideas. But anyway, that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys are having a wonderful fall season so far, and I will see you in my next video. Bye you guys.